Hello, welcome. In this video, we'll continue factoring with our trinomial x squared plus bx plus c, this time when c is a negative value. Take note, the factor with a greater absolute value always has the same sign as the b term. So let's take a look at an example that would show us what this means. Note that our c value is negative and our b value is expected to be positive. Let's go ahead and use our a, c, and b method. I have a 1 multiplied by negative 20, negative 20. And our b value is a positive 1. We now need to think of factors of negative 20. Take note, it's a negative 20 that must add up to 1. You do know that it must be a 5 and a 4, but now we need to consider the signs. What must give us a positive 1 value? Should we put the negative on the 5 or on the 4? For sure, you'll want to put it on the 4 in order for us to have a sum of positive 1. If that's the case, it was mentioned in a previous example or in the previous slide that the greater absolute value has the same sign as b, or the factor with the greater absolute value, which in this case must be a 5. And this goes to show that 5 should have a positive sign because it is the factor with the greatest or a greater absolute value. So I'll go ahead and note them down here, an x plus 5 and an x minus 4. If you were to check, our first term is x squared, our outer term is negative 4x, inner a positive 5x, and a negative 20, where the sum of the middle terms must add up to x. And that's how you can check if you factored correctly. Let's take a look at another example. I have an example where c is negative, and now we're going to look for factors of negative 18 that should sum up to negative 3. Let's begin. A times c will give you a negative 18, and b must be a negative 3. Let's think of factors of negative 18 that would sum up to negative 3. I know you're thinking of a 6 and a 3, but now you need to decide what must the sign be of the larger absolute value. It should take on the sign of the b term. In this case, it must be a negative 6. So your factors are going to be x minus 6 and an x plus 3. You can always feel free to pause the video